video is sponsored by Squarespace. Android tablets and their software have come a long way in the last 3 or 4 years, and it's to the point where these are legit great art and illustration tools that rival the iPad. So much so that now the big question is which tablet should you choose? Hello, my name is Brad. I review tech for creative professionals, and 2023 has just been a killer year for Android tablets. It wasn't that long ago that when a new Android tablet dropped, it was really just competing on price. And so there was this race to the bottom mentality for who could provide the cheapest Android tablet with the most kind of half-hearted features thrown into it. But all of that has been changing over the last few years, and nothing exemplifies that more than all of the tablets that have come out this year. Brands like Xiaomi, OnePlus, Samsung, even Google themselves upping their quality game. And with these things coming in at a good, sometimes great price. And this video is all about looking for Android tablets that you can draw on. So I'm specifically excluding some of the tablets that came out this year that might be pretty good tablets but don't have pen support. And this video is structured by price. So we're going to start at like the lowest price tier, and then that like mid price tier, and then maybe the highest price tier. Cool? All right. Let's get going. Let's start with the entry-level tablets. The first one I want to talk about today is the Xiaomi Pad 6. Now, this thing starts around $300, and I want to put an asterisk by this. I live in the US. I can't buy these tablets directly, so I know that in some markets the price is significantly cheaper compared to some of the other tablets I'm going to talk about here. And the quality of this thing was really good considering the price that we're looking at. It feels like a more premium tablet than it should be. The screen was really good. The refresh rate was really good. All around, the UI was really snappy and smooth feeling. It felt far more premium than I thought it should. This is also pen compatible. While mine did not come with a pen, I had to buy it separately. And again, this goes to the market thing. Some markets that might come packed in, some markets that might not. So that's something to check for if you're looking to draw on this. And my pen experience was so-so. I felt it was good. This is a USI stylus, so it's a solid stylus. But if you go looking for some line wobble and you're trying to get like super crisp, amazing lines, you're definitely going to find some wobble here. The pen pressure isn't quite as well tuned as maybe what Wacom's technology is doing, but it was pretty good. And I think that if you're able to get this pen tablet like really cheap, you're willing to put up with a little bit of that line wobble, you're getting something really nice here. So I would put this down as like a soft recommendation. There are some variables here. If you're in the US, I probably wouldn't go this route because it's so hard to get one and it becomes more expensive to ship one in. In other countries, if it is significantly cheaper than some of the options here, it's definitely worth looking into. Now, my favorite one in this category is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. And you're going to be hearing me talk about Samsung's products a lot here, and I'm going to be talking about why I like them. I'm not just a Samsung fanboy, although I think I'm becoming a fanboy. The real reason I really like Samsung's tablets is the S Pen. This is using Wacom's technology underneath the hood. So what we get is a really smooth, crisp line. And as an illustrator, especially an illustrator who does a lot of cartoony looking things, I want really crisp, smooth lines. I can use line smoothing and get rid of some of the wobble that I might find on other pens and other tablets, but I would prefer for my pen just to work really nice organically, and that's something that these S Pens do extremely well. Now, the S6 Lite is listed for $350. It's about 1.5 years old. It doesn't have the fastest processor in the world in it. In fact, nothing on the low end would. But I think the processor is probably getting a little long in the tooth here. At the $350 price point, I'm not sure this is worth it. However, I've been finding it for significantly less. Right now, like before the holidays here in the US, I just saw it online for $200? $200 for a tablet that comes with a really good pen packed in the box is a crazy deal. Might be the best deal in drawing tech, period. If you are interested in picking one of these up, make sure that you get one that says the 2022 edition or has 2022 in parentheses at the end of it. They released a version of this tablet several years ago, I think in 2019. That processor's way out of date. The new one is updated, far better. That's the one you're looking for. And again, you just always want to be looking for a sale when it comes to Samsung's tablets. Kind of like the sale I'm running on bradsartschool.com for my Learn to Draw in 60 Days course, huh? The other tablet I reviewed this year is something called the Ruben's Tab, and I wasn't that impressed with this. I would definitely say this is one to skip. This one only starts at $220, and this is one of those kind of race to the bottom sort of Android tablets. It feels a lot cheaper than the other two that I've talked about here. It also, the pen is kind of horrible. As you can see from some of the shots that I have here, the pen wobble is some of the worst I have ever seen anywhere. Even though this is geared for artists, I would stay far, 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 far away from this. All right, next up is our middle tier. The first tablet that I have here is the OnePlus Pad. Now this does start a little bit more expensive than some of the others we've talked about up to this point, $480, and it's pretty solid. There's some really nice specs here though, a nice screen, really nice screen actually, a nice refresh rate. It feels so premium. I don't really like this kind of forest green color, or at least I didn't until I saw it on the tablet. This thing just looks good, it feels good. All of the things that you look for on a tablet are here. The drawing apps run really smoothly. This is using a very similar stylus to what we saw on the Xiaomi Pad that I talked about in the previous tier, so that's something to be aware of. This is going to have a little bit of wobble to it when you're drawing on it. So while I take this tablet itself and put it in the almost great tier, the pen itself I think is still just in that good tier. But this is one of those tablets where you really want to be looking for a sale, because I can see the price dropping on it, especially in some regions, which means if you can get this for $100 or $200 less in a few months, it might be one to look at. Another tablet I'm going to put in this tier is the Google Pixel Tab. Now this is my first time using a Google Android tablet, which seems kind of weird after using so many Android tablets. You'd think I would have used something made by Google, but I've used their phones, but never a tablet. And overall, it was all right. Now, something to note here is this is not really geared towards artists. It's not for artists. They were really going for the whole home hub accessory market thing. In fact, it even comes with like a speaker dock dealio that you can connect this tablet to magnetically. It's kind of a neat idea. So if you do get a pen for it, you're going to have to buy it separately, which means that's going to cost a little bit more as well. Drawing on this was similar to the OnePlus Pad that I talked about a minute ago. There is a little bit of line wobble to this pen as well, so it's not the best thing in the world to draw with, but it's good enough if you don't mind adding some smoothing in your drawing program to kind of knock some of that out. The downside of this is I don't feel like the specs are that great. The screen does look really good. But it's really not meant for drawing and illustration. You know, there's not a lot of accessories for it, like a type cover and that sort of thing. You're really paying for that speaker, so if you're looking for that speaker experience that also doubles as a tablet you can draw on, then it might be worth looking into. But if the main thing you're going to be doing is art and illustration, I'm not sure this is the best one to go with. My main recommendation here is my next product, which I will talk about after I shout out today's sponsor, Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace as a portfolio for a while, but over the last few weeks, I've been moving more and more stuff over to that because of their new templating engine. Now I can create pages where I rank my favorite drawing tech, or I can create pages where I can list out more information about my online courses. Starting with a best-in-class website template, you can customize every design detail and reimagine it with their drag and drop technology for desktop or on mobile. You can upload, organize, access all of your content from one place using Squarespace's asset library. You're able to manage all your files from a central hub and use them across the entire Squarespace platform. And then there's Squarespace's analytics, where you can use those insights to grow your business, and you can learn where your site visits and sales are coming from, analyze which channels are most effective, improve your website, and build marketing strategies based on your top keywords or most popular products and content. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to get started, go to squarespace.com/BradColbo to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, so the next product in this category is the Galaxy Tab S9 FE. FE standing for Fan Edition. What Samsung does every few years is they release like a slightly spec'd down version of their highest end tablet. This year, that's this one. Now this comes in two different sizes. There's the standard like 10.9 inch version, and then there's a larger plus size that you can get that costs a little bit more. And I think that the things that they've cut from this tablet are the right things. Well, first of all, that Wacom pen is still here, so you're getting that great pen feel that you got with the S6 Lite and you get on those higher end S9 products. And I feel like that pen is just better than what you get in some of the competitors. It doesn't have the OLED screen of the high ends, but the screen does still look really, really good. Some of the materials they're using are like spec'd down a little bit, but they still feel very, very premium. Overall, I just feel like many of the things that Samsung decided to cut from their highest end tablets were the right things to cut. They're things that, people who love technology may notice are missing, but for the average consumer, you're probably not going to be able to tell. And to me, that's the sign of a really good budget price product. This thing starts at $450, but I've already seen it selling for around $400 at some of the holiday price sales that are going on. There's one more thing that I want to throw into this category before I jump to the highest tier, and that is the Samsung Galaxy Tab F8. Now, what that is was last year's version of Samsung's highest end tablets. In fact, the S8 line, which consists of the S8, S8 Plus, and S8 Ultra, 3 different sizes, are fantastic. They have beautiful screens. The 2 larger sizes there have full-blown OLED screens. The smallest size, the 11-inch, has a LED screen, but that LED screen still looks really, really good. And the reason I'm putting these in that middle tier is that right now they're just trying to get the stock. They're trying to sell everything that they have left, so you can find these at tremendously reduced prices. I found the standard S8 selling for about $500. So that's only like $50 more than the S9 FE, but you're getting some better specs in there. So it might be worth going with a slightly better processor than you get in the S9 FE, slightly better screen than you might get in the S9 FE. You're just getting slightly better specs, but this is also an option that might not be available to you by the time you watch this video if you're watching it a month or 2 months, 3 months after it comes out. All right, the highest of the high end, honestly, it's kind of a lonely place. Not a lot of manufacturers are making high-end Android tablets. The only one out there shooting for the moon right now is Samsung. Not a surprise here, the Galaxy Tab S9 is phenomenal. I have the S9 Ultra. That's what I reviewed back in the summer, and it is just wonderful. It just looks amazing. When you turn on that screen, the colors pop. It just feels so good. That 14-inch, almost 15-inch screen is just crazy beautiful. It is like nothing else you've used because it's so thin. Even Windows tablets, when they start to come in at this price point, are like twice as thick. The 11-inch starts at $800, the Plus starts at $1,120, and the Ultra starts at $1,320. That also makes these some of the most expensive Android tablets out there. Now, the pen is included, so if you're comparing these to, say, iPads, those prices look pretty good because you don't have to pay $120, $130 for the pen because it's included. But when you start to compare these with other Android tablets, then you start to see, where is that value? I think for most consumers, the Galaxy Tab S9 FE is probably the better choice. When you're using a drawing app, you're not going to really see the difference when you're drawing on one tablet compared to the other tablet. They're just as performant. Now, if you're really into gaming and you want to do high-end gaming, or if you want to do like video processing or something like that, that's where that extra performance comes in. The other area it may come in is just the longevity of your tablet. Your device is going to stay faster for longer and more performant. However, I don't feel with the S9 FE or even like an older S8 that it's going to get that slow, that fast. You're still going to get years of use out of it. But if you have the money, I absolutely recommend these tablets. They're fantastic. So that is my Android tablet buyer guide as of right now. Obviously, next year, I wouldn't be surprised if this spring or even just after CES, we start to see other Android tablets dropping, maybe some of those mid-range, low-range prices bringing new features. Every year we see that, and it's been pretty exciting, and I don't expect that to slow down. But what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.